Good morning and welcome, upper school students, parents, faculty, and guests. It is my honor to welcome you and thank you for being with us for this unique cum laude ceremony to honor the inductees of the class of 2020. Despite the circumstances, we are extremely pleased to be celebrating this 8th annual induction of the Benjamin Schools chapter of the Cum Laude Society. Founded in 1906, the Cum Laude Society is dedicated to honoring scholastic achievement in secondary schools. The founders of the society modeled cum laude after Phi Beta Kappa, and in the years since its founding, the society has grown to 382 chapters across the country, approximately 24 of which are in public schools and the rest in independent schools. Allow me to read the mission statement of the Cum Laude Society. Honoring the world's high school scholastic leaders, the Cum Laude Society recognizes the academic achievement in secondary schools for the purpose of promoting excellence, justice, and honor. As we all know, scholastic excellence is at the heart of the Benjamin School mission. An induction into the Cum Laude Society is the highest academic honor bestowed upon a Benjamin School student. Today, we celebrate those seniors who have dedicated themselves to academic excellence. They all share a passion for discovery, an inquiry, and a hunger for knowledge. Each has demonstrated consistently the habits of persistence and self-discipline that mark true scholarship. I congratulate those who will be inducted today. Your accomplishments are significant, your recognition is well-deserved, and your pursuit of academic excellence in our school community is without equal. Before we move to the induction, however, we will pause for the cum laude address, and I'd like to turn this over to Caroline Moody and Christian Baldari to introduce our speaker.
Good morning, Mr. Carr, Mr. Reed, students, faculty, and families of the Benjamin community watching at home. I am Christian Baldari, and I am honored to introduce our keynote speaker for today's ceremony, my teacher and mentor for the past 3 years, Mr. Kendall Didsbury, fondly known as Mr. Dids. Retiring at the end of this school year, Mr. Didsbury is turning the page on an accomplished and inspiring 49-year teaching career. After many years of teaching throughout the country, predominantly in his native New England, Mr. Didsbury began at the Benjamin School in August of 2002. In the 18 years since then, he has taught almost every subject, from English to geometry to electronics to a very brief stint as a Spanish teacher, touching the lives of thousands of students along the way. In the fall of 2018, the Innovative Learning Commons was even dedicated in his honor, a testament to the profound effect he has had on his students and our school. In his administrative role as assistant head for academics, Mr. Didsbury has worked tirelessly to create the master schedule year after year, ensure that students are receiving the highest quality instruction from their teachers, and attempt to help students optimize their potential as both scholars and people. Biased as I may be, I think that even he would secretly admit that his most crowning achievement at Benjamin has been his work with our upper school newspaper, The Far Side. The son of a reporter in Providence, Rhode Island, Mr. Didsbury has been the advisor of The Far Side since 2003. Since he first began, he has led the paper to countless regional and national accolades, including numerous gold medal awards by the Columbia Scholastic Press Association and the American Scholastic Press Association, and the General Excellence Award for high school newspapers by the Palm Beach Post. His passion for journalism has helped his expository writing students, myself and Caroline included, discover their voice, perfect their writing, and find a way, as we all have done, to positively affect change in the Benjamin community. His unfaltering commitment to the betterment of all Buccaneers and the school itself makes him the perfect speaker for the ceremony today. Congratulations, Mr. Didsbury, on a half-century of teaching, and thank you for the contributions you have made to make my Benjamin experience, along with so many others, immensely enriching and memorable.
To an even greater extent, Mr. Didsbury understands, perhaps more aptly than any other faculty or administration member, what today marks. This ceremony is in recognition of one of the many academic achievements of the Benjamin Schools class of 2020. Yet this moment is also emblematic of something greater. It is one of the unfortunately few and final times we will meet as peers, as a class, and as a school. As we graduate and begin our collegiate lives, so too does Mr. Didsbury embark on a new journey of his own, saying goodbye to the school that he has worked at far longer than any of us have attended. Together, we say goodbye to a life and a culture at Benjamin that is comfortable and known, to traverse that undiscovered country. Like the rest of us, I'm sure Mr. Didsbury never anticipated ending his time at Benjamin in such a strange, unnerving, and difficult way. But together, with his guidance, we won't lose the name of action in the face of great uncertainty, but rather set upon the unfamiliar with resolute hearts and minds. As much as a mentor and guide he has been to me and the rest of the Farside staff over the past 4 years, I hope he will too become a guiding light for you all, to ruminate upon his words with careful thought. Throughout his professional career, Mr. Dids, as we Farsidians so affectionately call him, has faced and endured many bizarre and trying times, including being a part of a KGB investigation with his students, and has emerged with greater determination, perspectives, and will. So although a virtual recognition of our hard-earned achievements may not be what we anticipated or what we hoped for, we may yet recall upon this moment in the future with great warmth and affection. So when you feel the grips of trepidation, simply call upon Mr. Didsbury's example and be present in the moment. Without further ado, I would like to introduce Mr. Kendall Didsbury.
Good morning. I want to thank Mr. Reed and Mr. Carr for this opportunity to speak to you. This is a wonderful occasion to honor excellent work, but it's also an opportunity to share some ideas about how each of you can achieve the very best versions of yourselves, both at Benjamin and later in life. One of the great challenges of being a high school student is it requires you to be a generalist. You have to be good at math, writing, reading literature and history, doing scientific work, creating art, and becoming proficient in a world language. But after you leave Benjamin, that all changes. You'll be able to focus on fewer things, and hopefully you'll develop some specific skills and talents that will stay with you for your whole life. It's this mastery of skills and talents that will determine in good part your success in your profession. So today I want to talk about how you can find your passions and build expertise. First of all, you have to recognize that we're curious beings. Each of us asks questions that interest us. We ask questions all the time. The challenge is to listen to the inner voice and discover what do your questions have in common. I had a student once who felt that she had no idea what she wanted to do with her life. So I asked her, when you're by yourself, what do you think about? What do you ask questions about? What piques your curiosity? She looked up at me almost startled by the question and said, I know that this sounds crazy, but I'm always interested about what people put on their feet and why. I see someone go down the street and I say, those shoes don't go with her dress. The dress is perfect, but the shoes belong on her grandmother's feet. She went on for a few minutes and talked about how she noticed shoes all the time. So I turned to her and said, do you think that a career in fashion might be just what you want to do? She said, I think so. If you want to identify a latent interest, one that you didn't know you had before, start paying attention to what sparks your curiosity. What conversations are you having in your head that can point you in the right direction? Listen to that inner voice. From there, learn how to build your knowledge and expertise. I once talked to a student who was poor at math, but who was very talented in soccer. He loved soccer. So I asked him, what did he think about on the ride home after he lost the game? He immediately said that he thought about what he did wrong, what he could have done differently, and how he would use practice tomorrow to build his skills so he'd win that next game and perform better. Then I asked him, what did he think about on the ride home after he did poorly on a math test? He looked at me with a blank stare and said, I don't know. We then talked about how he could use the strategies in soccer to improve his work in math. People who become good at something, who develop talents, demonstrate some common strategies. First, they take ownership for the task of learning something. They don't wait for the teacher or mentor to push them. They begin to catalog what they're good at, and then they look at the holes, the things that they do not know or they cannot do well. And they focus on those things. They develop a framework for enhancing their expertise. Over time, they fill in those holes. As they develop their knowledge and skills, they shift to the question, what is quality work? They look objectively at their projects and they say, how can I make this project better? As they improve, they clarify in their own minds how great is different from good. And they learn how to make something great instead of good. In order to sustain this mindset, they do not let their mistakes define them. People who become really good at something have pushed the proverbial envelope. They try to take what they've learned to the next level. But they also recognize that they're going to get skinned knees in the process. Anyone who's taken the training wheels off of a bicycle for the first time understands that. The first ride is wobbly at best, but with each successive ride, you get more proficient. Taking risks and learning from our mistakes is the fastest way to build expertise. The mistakes are not permanent labels unless we let them be that. By the same token, don't listen to people who say you can't do it, whatever it is. Some people give up too soon, and the success of others threatens them. Your success reminds them of what they might have been. Your success challenges their perception of the possible. If they can label you as a failure, then the pressure's off them. Listen to that inner voice. Strive to do your best work and never, ever give up. At the same time, don't assume you have to go it alone. First of all, seek out mentors. Older people who have been successful often look to the young because they get a kick out of helping them. They've traveled your journey. They've gone down your road. They know where the potholes are in that road, and they know what to do to help you get where they got. They often sympathize with you. As this coronavirus has shown us, great things are rarely achieved alone. We've watched communities come together in remarkable ways. Their collective efforts are greater than the sum of their parts. Each of us brings unique talents that ensures we do our best work. You need to remember this as you pursue your talents and passions. Seek out others who share your interest and invite them to be a part of your project as you agree to help them with theirs. When we work together, we share in the joys and we support each other in our adversities. As you've watched the medical teams help the severely ill, it's not hard to imagine how they support each other and make the challenges bearable. They're doing very challenging work. They are facing real obstacles, and yet together they're able to push on and do good things. So as you begin to look at life after Benjamin, remember these things. First, pay attention to your inner voice. Look at what inspires your curiosity and generates questions. Second, build on that interest to transform it into expertise, a combination of knowledge and skills. In effect, take charge of your own learning. Third, look with a critical eye at what you produce. Ask yourself on a regular basis, how can I make it better? Define for yourself what quality work is and seek to achieve it. Fourth, don't be influenced by naysayers, the people who try to drag you down and divert your attention from your goals. Finally, seek out help. Reach out to people who have expertise and could be mentors. Learn from them, and then seek out like-minded peers and collaborate with them on projects of yours or their design. A community of talented and focused individuals can achieve remarkable things. Thank you for the chance to speak to you today. You have a world of opportunities in front of you. Make the most of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Didsbury, for your remarks this morning. And Caroline and Christian, thank you for the lovely introduction. The time has now come to induct our 19 Cum Laude Society members for the 2019-2020 school year. Given this is virtual, let me add a couple of suggestions to contextualize this virtual ceremony. If all goes according to our virtual plan, you will have an opportunity to hear the name of each inductee and see their senior portrait as they are welcomed into the chapter. If it helps you to picture what it would have been like in reality on the stage of Benjamin Hall, they would, after their name is called, come to the stage to receive a cum laude certificate as well as a pin and a blue and orange cum laude ribbon to be worn at commencement. It is now time for the induction, and I'd like to turn this over to Mr. Carr to announce the names of this year's class of cum laude inductees, and then to conclude the ceremony with remarks. Thank you.
Alec P. Adam, Nicholas J. Amato, Vincent A. Amato, Christian G. Baldari, Leslie B. Berg, Ellie V. Blaine, Ashley M. Cousin, Alexandra A. Denholtz, Catherine G. Duncan, Emily P. Horgan, Cassandra D. Jutis, Nicholas M. Lama, Kirsten H. Malmberg, Caroline G. Moody, James J. Richardson, Dean S. Silvers, Heather Z. Slay, Justin D. Stolman, Tatiana M. Ziff. If I can add anything in closing beyond contributing my own congratulations, it is that such awards as bestowed today, and more fundamentally, to use Mr. Didsbury's words, the general excellence that our inductees represent does not simply materialize out of thin air. This excellence is the product of admirable individual efforts supported by the enduring and interwoven frameworks of school, family, and friends, as well as a host of other school support systems that have lifted not just these students recognized today, but all of our students in moving individually and collectively ever nearer to the incredibly varied and worthy goals to which each of them aspires. Ultimately, an institution is only as good as its people. To that then, I say once again to all of you, well done. And thank you all for continuing to work, to strive, and to give of yourselves to help the Benjamin School grow and flourish. Thank you for joining us at this ceremony this morning. Please stay safe and well until we meet again.